They call me the old mountain doctor who never forgets to check the floorboards. Born in the medical towers of America, but shaped by the silence of Japan's highland villages, I've spent over 4 decades treating elders who move with the rhythm of bamboo, flexible, rooted, and wise. But in recent years, I've seen something deeply troubling. Elders who once squatted with grace now struggle to rise from a chair. Men who carried firewood on their backs now fracture a hip from a minor stumble. Women who knelt in prayer for hours now fear the act of kneeling itself. What's happening? The answer lies not only in age, but in the silent sabotage happening in your kitchen. Today, I must tell you the truth because I've seen bones broken not by accidents, but by everyday foods. Foods we consider harmless, even healthy, but which, over time, steal calcium, drain density, and cripple the very structure that holds us up. Let me begin with the story of a woman I once treated. Her name was Haruko, the widow who stopped walking. Haruko was 79 when she came to my clinic. She lived alone in an old house with tatami floors and sliding doors that groaned with the seasons. She was thin, quiet, and meticulous, always wore clean socks, always bowed deeply, always apologized for taking my time. One winter morning, she slipped in her garden. A minor fall, but her femur snapped clean. When I reviewed her medical records, her bone density was dangerously low. "But I drink milk every day," she said, confused. "I take calcium. I eat my fish. What else can I do?" What she didn't know, what most people don't know, is that some foods don't build your bones. They break them. Slowly, silently, from the inside out. What follows is not just science, it's a warning. Because if you're over 60 and you eat these foods regularly, your bones may already be at risk. 1. Soft drinks. Yes, even the zero-sugar ones. Soda is one of the worst offenders regardless of whether it contains sugar. Why? Most contain phosphoric acid, which creates an imbalance between calcium and phosphorus in your blood. This leads to calcium being pulled from your bones to restore balance. Caffeine and carbonation increase calcium excretion through urine. Diet sodas may seem harmless, but studies show they still disrupt bone mineralization. Haruko drank cola every other day not because she loved it, but because it helped her digest after meals. What she didn't realize, every sip was draining her skeleton. Better choice, replace with herbal teas, barley tea, mujica, or warm water with lemon. 2. Excess salt, the quiet calcium thief. In Japan, we value flavor. Miso soup, pickled plums, soy sauce. But salt, when consumed excessively, is a hidden destroyer of bone. How? High sodium intake increases urinary calcium loss. The kidneys, overwhelmed with sodium, excrete both salt and calcium together. Over time, this leads to reduced bone mineral content, especially in postmenopausal women. Haruko used soy sauce generously. She believed, like many elders, that food must be seasoned to nourish the heart. But it was also seasoning her bones to weaken. Better choice. Use low-sodium miso, sprinkle kelp powder, or flavor with herbs and citrus instead. 3. Refined sugar, the bone's silent enemy. Sugar not only leads to diabetes and inflammation, it directly interferes with calcium absorption and reduces vitamin D activation. Furthermore, high sugar intake promotes inflammation, which breaks down bone matrix. Sugar-rich diets are linked to higher levels of cortisol, which inhibits bone growth. Haruko had a sweet tooth, rice crackers coated with sugar, sweetened red bean soup in winter. 1 cup of sugary tea each day. 1 less year of mobility. Better choice. Use monk fruit, stevia, or small amounts of raw honey. Balance sweet flavors with protein and fat to reduce blood sugar spikes. 4. Processed meats, acid load and calcium drain. You might think ham, sausages, and preserved meats are safe in moderation. They're not. Why? They create an acidic environment in the body. To neutralize this acid, your body pulls calcium from the bones. Nitrates and preservatives also interfere with vitamin K, a key nutrient for bone health. Haruko loved convenience. Her son would bring her packaged bentos with thin slices of pork, processed fish cakes, and pickles. Tasty? Yes. Toxic to bones? Absolutely. Better choice. Choose fresh grilled fish, tofu, and tempeh. Fermented proteins build bones, not burn them. 5. Excess caffeine, the mineral blocker. Tea and coffee are cultural staples, yes. But in excess, caffeine blocks calcium absorption in the gut, increases urinary calcium loss, disrupts sleep, which is when bone rebuilding happens. Haruko drank green tea all day. It kept her calm, but she drank too much, up to 8 cups, and rarely ate enough calcium to balance it. Better choice, limit to 23 cups per day. Switch to roasted teas like hojicha, which are lower in caffeine, or non-caffeinated infusions like chrysanthemum or shiso leaf. 6. Oxalate-rich foods in excess. You've likely heard spinach is good for you. It is, but not always for your bones. Spinach, beets, rhubarb, and even sweet potatoes contain oxalates compounds that bind to calcium in the gut and prevent absorption. Haruko ate sweet potatoes every day. Good for the gut, yes, but she never balanced them with vitamin D or magnesium. Result? Strong digestion, weak bones. Better choice, soak, steam, or pair with calcium-rich foods like sardines or sesame. Balance oxalate foods with fermented items to support gut health and absorption. 7. Alcohol, the bone eroder. A glass of wine here and there won't destroy you. But chronic alcohol intake suppresses osteoblasts, the cells that build new bone, disrupts liver function, which impairs vitamin D processing, weakens muscles, increasing fall risk. Haruko didn't drink, but her neighbor did. A gentle man with hollow bones, multiple fractures, and brittle wrists. Every night, 2 small cups of sake. A slow erosion. Better choice. If you drink, limit to 23 servings per week. Prioritize hydration and nutrient support. 8. Instant noodles and packaged foods, the hidden danger. They seem innocent, easy to prepare, light on the stomach. But inside, a cocktail of sodium, preservatives, phosphates, and no real nutrients. Phosphates in particular, often added to processed foods, disrupt bone remodeling and increase bone resorption process where bone breaks down faster than it's built. Haruko ate instant noodles on rainy days. She said they comforted her, but they were stealing her strength, bite by bite. Better choice, make fresh broth with kombu and bonito flakes. Add tofu, mushrooms, and whole grain noodles. Scientific summary, the foods that weaken your bones. Let's look at what science tells us about these common items. Soda, phosphoric acid and caffeine increase calcium loss. Salt, excess sodium increases urinary calcium excretion. Sugar, reduces calcium and vitamin D bioavailability. Processed meats, acidic load and nitrate interference with bone metabolism. Caffeine, blocks absorption, disrupts sleep-based bone regeneration. Oxalates, bind calcium in the gut, preventing uptake. Alcohol, suppresses bone-building cells and disrupts vitamin D processing. Instant foods, contain bone-disrupting phosphates and lack minerals. Each of these may not cause immediate damage, but over time, they chip away at your foundation. And by the time you feel the weakness, it may be too late. What you can do to save your bones. If you're reading this and feeling uneasy, that's good. It means you're aware. And awareness is the first medicine. Here's how to reverse the damage. Eat calcium-rich foods daily. Sardines, sesame, leafy greens, tofu. Support vitamin D levels. 15 minutes of sunlight daily or supplements. Add K2 to your plate. Natto, fermented cheeses, or -7 Malawian kwacha supplements. Balance acid-forming foods with alkaline vegetables. Cut back on salt, sugar, and processed foods. Stay active. Weight-bearing exercise stimulates bone formation. Sleep deeply. Your bones repair at night. Strengthen your gut. Probiotics help mineral absorption. Haruko changed her diet. Within 1 year, her bone density stabilized. She didn't reverse the damage, but she stopped its advance. More importantly, she stood up again in her own. Final words from Dr. Raymond Kondo. Bones are not lifeless. They are living, breathing structures. They respond to what you feed them and what you deny them. They do not break overnight. They weaken in silence, one meal at a time. But you have the power to protect them. So tonight, when you sit down for dinner, ask yourself, is this feeding my bones or stealing from them? Because the most dangerous foods are not the ones that taste bad. They're the ones that feel normal until your bones say otherwise. If this story opened your eyes, please like the video, comment below with the food you'll start avoiding, and subscribe for more grounded, science-based wisdom from a doctor who still believes that strength begins in the simplest places: your plate, your posture, your choices.